Good morning. This is Brother Ron, and we're coming to you this morning, and we want to thank you for joining us this morning and taking time out of your schedule to be with us and taking time out to share with your family. Today is going to be a little bit different, that we've come in and we've recorded this, and we've had a lot of people that's been sick lately. We've had a death within the church, and like I said, today we're going to do things a little bit different. I know that a lot of people are home right now, and you're probably home or in your car, and I want you to share this also today, but I want you to be praying for those that are sick, those that have lost loved ones. And today we're going to go in, and I'm going to be talking about what are you going to leave behind. I'm talking today about going in, and not the earthly things that we'll leave behind, but what we as individuals, what will people remember about us? What will they say about us when it's our time to go? This week, we lost a dear brother. We lost a dear friend. We lost a dear church member. And Brother Carl Douglas, this week, went to heaven. He got his great reward. And Carl was a great man in our community and a great man in our church. He had been a trustee of our church for several years. And he loved this church and he loved this community. But Carl, most of all, loved Jesus, and he's with him today. Carl loved his wife, Mary Ellen, his son, Michael, and those kids and those grandkids. He loved those grandkids so much, and every time you would talk about them, you would get a very big smile from Carl. Carl went in and he left behind some things when he left. Now, I'm not talking about earthly goods. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about Carl left behind a legacy that will be remembered for years. Yes, he left behind the family. He left behind the church. And he left behind this community. And this community is so proud of him. And this is one thing about Carl. When he would go in and you met him, he would meet you with a smile. He would meet you with a kind word. And we are very proud that he was our commissioner here in the 1st District because he done such a wonderful job. But Carl Douglas leaves us behind something that we can follow. He leaves behind an example that we can follow. Carl was a man that you could go in and take him at his word. You could take him when he told you something, you knew it was true. He didn't go in, he didn't talk about this or talk about that, but when you went in and you discussed something with him, it was what his word was his bond. When he shook hands with you, that was the contract. And one thing too, his legacy, about how that he stood and he was for our community. He was for us as a family. He went in and he wanted each and every one of us to have a better life than he had. He strived for that and he worked for that. Carl was a very hard worker. He was always out there providing for his family, providing for others, and doing the very best that he knew how to do, and he was good at it. He knew how to operate equipment. He knew how to manage things, and he knew how to get the job done. But this is one thing about Carl. He promoted the Lord Jesus Christ to the fullest. He wanted to share the good news. He would tell you about the good things about Jesus. He would tell you the things that Jesus done for him, and how that God had moved in his life many times, and how God that had saved him and forgiven him of his sins. And because of that, he gets to spend eternity in heaven. And this is one thing too today. Carl left something behind that we can follow. We can go by his example. And he went in, and he always had a kind word. He wanted the people to know that he loved them and he cared for them. This community, we all love him. All the family loves him. And he went in, and he always wanted for us to do better than he did. He's helped me out many times. He's probably helped some of you out many times. But he never mentioned it. When he done something for you, he didn't ask for anything in return. He did it because he cared and because he loved you. There was many of a time that I know of him going and praying for people. Praying and getting down on his face before God and asking God to touch family members and going out in the community and helping people and helping their lives and help change their lives. He had a heart of God. And let me tell you something, because of his life, the legacy that he left, not only of pleasing God and showing that when we go out and we do for God, God will return the blessings upon us. Carl supported the church, he supported the community, and he helped each and every one. I can stand here and tell you story after story of the things and the people that he's helped and the things that he's done. But most of all, I am very proud that I can say Carl Douglas was my friend, and I know without a shadow of a doubt he's in heaven today. We're going to miss him. Carl left some things behind that we can follow. He wanted you and I to make it to heaven. He wanted you and I, and he had this attitude. We're not going to give up and we're not going to quit. We're going to continue on. There was trying times throughout his life, but he kept going. When things would get him down, he'd get right back up. When things would get hard, he would pray and ask God for direction, ask God for wisdom and knowledge, and right back on the trail he would go. He loved to have fun. He loved to eat. And he loved spending time with people. And this is the good thing. Someday and someday soon, we'll get to spend time with him again. Because he's there in heaven. He's right there. And he's watching out. And I want Mary Ellen to know, and Michael, and all those grandkids, those girls, he loved you and bragged on you all the time. And those that helped him, those that there was with him, he knew he'll never, even in heaven, he'll be smiling down on us. This is one thing Carl wanted to do, though. He wanted you to know and wanted you, and he would want to ask you, what are you leaving behind? Are you leaving behind a legacy that you want to be remembered by? Are you wanting to leave behind a legacy that people will be reminded of the good things that you have done? I want to be reminded of someone who got others to a better place. Carl was that same way. He witnessed, and he wants you to be a witness. He wants you to go out and witness. He'd want you and I to go out and spread the good news of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Going in and seeing people saved was number one with him. But how are you and I going to be remembered? I want you and I to be remembered just as the people who made a difference in helping someone to make it to heaven. We need to be that example. I want to be remembered as someone who loved life and was a joy to be around. I want to be remembered as someone who helped somebody in a trying time. I want my kids and my grandkids to remember me. I want to remember Pap as somebody who was always there. I want to be remembered as somebody that cared about others. How do you want to be remembered? It's going to make a difference someday when your family, when your friends look back and they can sit down and tell story after story of things that you did and the way that you helped and the way that you turned and helped turn their life around. The words that you gave them, the encouragement, that hand stretched out to help them out of a bad situation. How are you going to be remembered, and what are you going to leave behind? Leave behind a legacy of good. Leave behind a legacy where others can follow. Lead that. Live a life where you'll be remembered for doing something for your family, for your community, and for this country. Don't give up on things. Strive to be the best that you can and leave a legacy where people can smile when they say your name. I want to say God bless you. Yes, this has been different today, but that's okay. We're going to make a difference in this world. We're going to leave behind a good legacy. God bless you. We'll see you this time again next week. Have a wonderful week and give somebody a hug. God bless you.